Hey everybody, welcome to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford. The point of this show is to help improve ourselves as dogmen and to raise the quality of the dogs on the end of our lead. So let's settle in, turn the volume up, and let's see if we can't learn a trick or two together from our guests. Hey everybody, you are listening to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford, and today we have on the phone with us Randy Gary. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hey, y'all.
Oh, I'm doing well. Well, let's just kind of jump into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Randy? Where are you from, and that kind of stuff?
I'm from Louisiana, northern Louisiana. Not not the Cajun part. I'm from North Louisiana. We're rednecks. The rest of the state would kind of like to ignore us, but they should just give us to Texas. We'd be a lot more happy. I can tell you. Um, I've hunted my whole life. That's all I ever did. I used to make coon, squirrel, hog, and bear dog videos, fur and fangs, back in the days when people had DVRs, and I was a waterfowl guide for, man, decades and decades. And now I just hunt with people I like. That's about it.
What all you hunt these days?
Last year's the first year I didn't waterfowl hunt in years. I'm just not feeling it as much. And I hunt rabbits and squirrels and about like that. All I care about some rabbit dogs. I run them about 5 days a week now. Louisiana ain't got the trees that we used to have. We used to have a lot better woods, but that timber company, it ain't our friend. I can tell you that right now. And our deer season goes so long, we can't really get in the woods with small game hunters. In Louisiana, we're second class. Y'all have a real small gun season up there where you're at. You're blessed. Arkansas as well. And then Texas goes all year on, small game in this part, rabbit and squirrel. So Louisiana kind of gets the short end of the deal.
How long gun season they got?
Oh, man, we run until about the 15th of January. And I believe that they give you another 7 days of primitive on the tail end of that. So we start early and go late. But I've been up here to Oklahoma. Y'all are blessed. Y'all got great hunting and some of the best public hunting I've ever had. I mean, you're on the Kansas line up there, kind of, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Less people and more game.
Yeah, we don't have just a ton of public up around me, but we got a little bit.
Well, private's the best hunting anyway.
Yeah.
The whole time I guided waterfowl hunters, I was asking about their woods. And they would tell me, "Oh, I don't deer hunt, or I don't squirrel hunt or rabbit hunt. I just care about ducks." I said, "Well, let me come up here and make a hunt. Don't you have a grandson or something that wants to, kill a squirrel over a dog?" That was the key right there. Get them young ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you what, it's the 24th anniversary of 9/11. That's our country is in pretty bad shape, and I probably see it worse than most because I'm so far right. I don't even take left turns. I make the block. But I'll tell you a story. I was in South Dakota 24 years ago. I was guiding goose hunters, and we done got our limit. We killed our 30 geese, and we were headed back to the lodge when the first plane hit. Well, we got back to the lodge, and then we saw the second plane hit. And I had a customer that had a Rolex watch and a big gold bling and a black Mercedes, and I thought he was like a Mexican drug dealer. I didn't know. I just hoped he tipped me well. And I was all swole up, said it was Osama bin Laden and everything. So that evening when he got ready to leave, he called me to his vehicle and he gave me a tip. And he said, I'm from Iran. I said, I had no idea. If you'd have told me, I'd have toned down my rhetoric. He said, well, I thought you might have hung me. But he said, I felt safe because I didn't see a tree nowhere around here. And do you know who Jack Ball is? He used to be a sports outdoor rider for Full Cry.
I'm not sure I
He
do.
wrote for him. He wrote for him for years. He had said guides were all crooked. He was talking about mountain lion guides, and I sent him a letter said all guides wasn't crooked. Come up and hunt with me. I hunt you free and all that stuff. I said you can't lump all guys together, just like you can't say all outdoor riders are full of bull, although most of them are. So he said he coughed when he got the letter. He took it to the FBI. When I got him from hunting one day, the FBI agent at the table. And I had waterfowl mercenary guide service, and he wanted to know about the mercenary part and all that. I said, I get paid to hunt, and I go all over. So when they got the lab report back while he was sitting there about it, wasn't no anthrax in the letter, he apologized and stuff. But I was full up a Jack Ball for years for that stuff. I'll tell you something. Y'all don't have alligators up here, do you?
No, we don't.
All right, let me tell you. I was reading yesterday, Louisiana's most alligators in the nation. And we do have dogs taken. I had a buddy had a Satsuma, his lead dog taken about a month ago. And we're on the Rockefeller, and it's 71,000 acres. And I seen yesterday it's got the 5th most alligators in Louisiana. Well, we're hunting on the very border of it. And I got this old man with me. We had borrowed a dog from my buddy. He had 2 or 3 trained dogs, and he likes you to work on put ducks in their mouth. And it's 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's on the Gulf, so there's a 400-yard channel, about 40 yards wide, and it's about 2 foot deep, and we're wading. It's been man-made, everything. And we got there that morning, and there's alligator eyes everywhere. And I'm talking about everywhere. And they're not going to go back out in the Gulf. All they do is go underwater. And you got 20 yards on each side of you. So there's alligators down there. And we put the dog in the boat because it's $15,000 dog. My buddy decides halfway down there, he needs to get his big butt in the boat too. And it's one of them critter getters. They're not designed for a 60, 70-pound energetic lab and a big old 220-pound redneck. So I'm pulling the boat and everything, and the boat goes down in amongst all the alligators. And another time, we had a sinkhole where they would dig these islands out. And this sinkhole would be like 8 or 9 foot deep. It's where the backhoe sat, and he'd get the dirt to build the island up. And we were walking through there one morning, and I went all the way down in that sinkhole. He was standing behind me. And the only thing above the water, because I had waders on, was my briar braid. I had a ponytail. And he reached in there and grabbed that ponytail and pulled me up. I said, let go of my hair, let go of my hair. He said, you might drown.
It's your briar braid, huh?
Yeah, you braid it up so that way the briars don't pull it off.
I hear you. Randy, how'd you get started in dogs?
Man, I had 9 years old. My older cousin, brought a little old beagle pup home, and he was older than me. He was about 14. He was studying girls, and I was just studying everything out in the woods I could shoot, like a BB gun and everything I ever made. That was it. That's all I've ever done. I got a lot better understanding of hounds than I do women. I can tell you that. I studied them a while. I ain't got them figured out at all.
Hey, Randy.
But
yeah, you kind of cut out on me there for a second.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but
okay.
I don't know if you moved around or something, but you cut out on me. I couldn't hear you at all for a couple seconds.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I got a lot better understanding of hounds and hunting dogs than I do women. I've been studying both of them about the same length of time. I about got the hounds figured out. The women are still an enigma to me.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs do you got?
Well, I've had mountain curs, and I've kind of transitioned away from them. I've just been having a hard time finding one that just really wants to have the drive and the go that I'm looking for. Right now, I've got treeing curs and bird dog crosses is what I've got at the house.
that bird dog will put the motor in them. You know, you can rein a dog in, but you can't hardly make him go.
Mm-hmm.
I got some buddies, and I tell you what their trick is to make them go. They pull up on a road with the woods 300 yards out there, and they turn that dog loose, and he runs to them woods as fast as he can. And he says when he goes in the regular woods and opens it up, it makes the dog go further and faster because he's used to sprinting toward the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it works, but he swears by it. So
yeah, it's not the first time I've heard someone say something like that. I cut mine across fields like that every once in a while, but I don't make a huge practice of it with the one I'm hunting right now, which she kind of did me dirty. I got a NSD hunt Saturday that I'm hosting, and she done come and heat on me early this week.
Oh, so you're gonna have to get the big Sab, huh?
Oh, I'm not gonna do everybody else that way.
I hear you. Hey, your buddy Zach.
Yeah.
My buddy Cody talked to him last night, and we are gonna go down there and make a rabbit hunt this year. You ought to meet us.
I'd like to.
You'd be a rabbit man then. Let me tell you something. They cut more trees every day, and more scrub grows up. And that's why I ain't got squirrel dogs like I used to, because we ain't got no trees left. And you in rabbit country, so you need to come down there and make a hunt.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Yeah, Zach just had a baby yesterday, or well, I guess his wife had a baby yesterday. But I was on the phone with Zach when which I got off the phone with you yesterday, and then I called Zach and was talking to him.
Yeah.
And while I was on the phone with him, he's like, "Hey, hold on, Cody's calling me." So I said, "Well, I bet you Randy called Cody. Now Cody's calling you." So
yeah,
it sounds like that's what happened.
I'm trying to set that hunt up. Hey, Steve Trimble, I'm gonna come up there next year and stay with him about a week, as long as he'll fry bacon greasy and eggs over easy, and I'm gonna come down there and we're gonna kill some rabbits. So you be looking for some spots now.
Oh, I've already got them. I tried to get that old Gus to come down and bring his rabbit dogs down and hunt with me last year. I never did get him wrangled down.
Yeah, we're going to bring some power up here this year. He got 2 putts from me one time, and he named them Randy and Gary. No pressure there. No pressure there.
That sounds like something Steve would do. He's on her.
He come down there to hunt a week with the swamp rabbits in the water. Well, y'all ain't got a whole lot of swamps up there, no rosettas and all that stuff, excuse me. And so his dog got out there, swam to the pack, but he wouldn't come back. So he spent the night out there in the swamp. And when we got back to the place we were staying, they had these mounted alligator heads. And Steve kept looking at them alligator heads. He was worried about his dog. We had a place in Arkansas, and it was in front of Ashbrook Island, one of them fancy islands. And I had it leased, and it was a dugout for the Mississippi River. And there's an alligator in there that they said was going to be the state record. Well, they just sent me a picture of him, and that was 20 years ago, and he's still there. We called him Clarence the Cross-Eyed because his head was so big when he looked at you, his eyes were cross-eyed because that's how big he was. And he would eat our ducks, and he only liked hooded mergansers, I guess because they taste like fish. If you shot a hooded merganser, he'd come get that thing if it was early season. And them alligators, y'all don't got to deal with that. And I tell you what else y'all don't have, y'all got rattlesnakes, we don't. But I've had 31 of my beagles bit in the last 4 years by cottonmouths, 31 of them. And it makes me not be able to take my young pups right now. You know, they're just over 3 months because they can't stand that bite. The rest of them are fine. You know, but that puppy, it can kill that puppies. So, and we don't got no rattlesnakes. One time I was in the King Ranch down there, and they had them Elway dogs, expensive ones. It was old neighbor's trailer and Johnny Fair Syrup. It was some rich guys. And one of them dogs started pointing rattlesnakes. And about the third rattlesnake it pointed, it got, it hit him and it killed him. There wasn't even no getting him to the hospital.
Speaking of gators,
Yeah.
and I usually talk about this when I'm down here swimming in the river next to my house, but I almost kind of like for us to have gators up here. I think it'd be fun. It'd
No,
be a
you
fun
don't.
critter to chase, but I'd only want them to get to about 3 foot long, maybe 4.
Yeah, well, you don't. They killed 11.4, 100 yards from my house down here in the lake because it was getting dangerous. And, people think that stuff's cute. They throw their scraps out there. Well, then every time they see people, they think of food. That stuff ain't, man, they will eat your dog. And I'm going to tell you a story about alligators. Let me tell you this story. This is the truth. I promise you. There was this skin diver down the road from me. This is back in the 60s where they had a gator season. And he was on Caddo Lake, and they were having a skin diving tournament that day, like a fishing tournament where you skin dive. And there was 2 rednecks in a boat checking their lines, and they seen all these bubbles, and they seen something black down there, and they thought it was alligator. We didn't have that many then. So they shot him and killed that man. And it was negligent homicide, and I don't think they did hardly no time over it. But at the time, the game warden said, had it been an alligator, had they shot it, they would have got more time than they did for killing that man. Because that's how they protected them. That protection stuff was okay. It's about over now, buddy. We got too many of them. It's kind of like them wolves and stuff. I mean, that's enough is enough. And if you've seen you shine a light out there frog gigging nowadays on that river, it's just not good. It's not good. I don't think we'll. And they done stock bears on us now, and they're gonna let us kill 10. Well, 10 ain't nothing. But at least they ain't brought wolves in here. I mean, we're blessed about that.
Yeah.
I was gonna go to Drummond Island last year, but they got them wolves, and they're coming there killing whole packs of dogs. So I guess I'm gonna run snowshoes someplace someday. That's on my bucket list. Right now, I got some hounds up in the high desert running black-tailed jackrabbits. I wasn't even sure you could do that, and he's doing a pretty good job of it.
And them critters are fast.
They are, and they're wind washed, and their belly's so far from their feet, they don't leave much of a trail, and they make such long strides that the track's hard to figure out in the arid desert. But I think it's a high desert, I think they got some snow on the ground, everything all year up there.
I gotcha.
But I've been with some pretty good squirrel dogs before. I didn't care what kind it was, from a red heeler to them Lakers to rat terriers to original mountain curs to hounds, all that. I liked all of them. And I got to go with quite a few folks. I got to see some of the legendary dogs, hunt. I was blessed for that. And like I said, it was thrilling, but we just don't have the woods we used to here. I mean, we got pine trees and some small SMZ zones, and it seems to be less and less.
Yeah.
All year.
Well, let's talk about your Fur and Fangs videos that you made.
I made 27 of them. They were 2-hour videos. It was thrilling. It allowed me to tour the country and meet people and hunt places. That camera and a good dog will get you in some spots that you can't, even money won't buy. I've seen a lot of dogs and a lot of folks that had them. Some people just bought a good dog. It's kind of like horse racing. Some folks didn't train them, just bought a good dog and got a handler to handle him, and stepped up there and got the trophy and the roses. And some old boys wore out Carhartts and lacrosse boots making a dog out of a puppy. So I've seen a little of all of it. I like the original mountain curs. That's what I liked best. I had Kimmers and I've seen some good fights. There are some good fights, and I've seen the hybrids. The Cajun squirrel dogs. I've hunted with a bunch of them, Carlton Savoy. I got to see a bunch of stuff. And when I hog hunted, them hog hunters are cliquish. They don't even like each other, a lot of them, they're jealous. Well, I wasn't never going to pay no vet bill like that. They didn't have to worry about me. I'm the cameraman. So I got to go with all kinds of different ones. And on that hog hunt, it was pretty thrilling. The bear hunting's the best thing. That's the most coolest thing I ever did. And I was like 40 years old. It's like kissing a girl for your first time. That was the most awesome thing. And when I got there that night, they won't call me Goldilocks. I didn't like that too much. And after I swam the river and went in there after wounded bears and ran toward the dogs when he got knocked out the tree and all that, them old rednecks come on me and they said, "We're not going to call you Goldilocks no more. It don't fit. We're going to call you Billy Ray Cyrus." I was thinking, well, I guess that's an upgrade. Not much one, but thank you a whole lot.
Yeah.
I got a gun from Browning, scopes from Leopold, John Henry. That was my pistol. And I got to where I could shoot squirrels with him, in the trees and stuff. And it was pretty thrilling. When I pulled out John Henry, I was mad because they couldn't shoot. I didn't pull him out unless they were just terrible.
What kind of pistol was it?
It was a Browning Buckmark with a Leopold 4X on it.
Yeah.
And it had an Olympic team barrel, had a big old barrel about 12 inches. If you missed them, you could beat them to death. It was like an axe. Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. What are your other favorite critter guns you've got?
Oh man, I got a 270 stock Mannlicher stock, M77. They call it Soul Crusher after one of my buddy's ex-wives.
All right, let's hear the story. I know there's a story there.
Well, because she just crushed his soul. So, and she thought it was a compliment when I named my gun Soul Crusher. And then I got the meat axe, and I got Thor's Thunderhammer, which is a DU Benelli Cerakoted with alligator wrap on it. Looks like an alligator skin with Teflon firing pins and stainless steel Sure Cyclers, and it was backboard and forcing cones from that Ray Roberts. When he first started on his own, he sponsored me and did all that stuff. And it was the one before that. I shot 41 cases in 1 year, or 3.5, when I was a goose guide, and I broke it 9 times. And I had a booth down for Benelli doing a sporting show. Now, you like that gun? I love that gun. And I told him I broke it 9 times that year. And he said, "Well, how come?" I said, "I shot 41 cases, 3.5. I ain't counting other loads, He said, "Well, you're not supposed to shoot it that much." I said, "It didn't say that on the box." So he was shearing those pins. So he gave me all these pins and 2 new ejectors for it. So I love that gun. I got an old 1934 Parker, the old famous, double barrel American made.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Bush Hog, a 2-foot barrel, straight English stock, Upland Special. They made a couple years. That's my rabbit gun. And I shoot them one-handed and hold the phone in the other. I don't use the GoPro because anybody can use a GoPro, but when you're one-handed, then I just kind of make it a little interesting. I just try to live it, boss. I'm in my golden years. There ain't gonna be no more.
Yeah. How old are you, Randy?
I'll be 67 February, hoss. And I put 25-year-olds in the truck all the time at work. They don't make 25-year-olds like they did us. I promise you that.
Yeah.
It's a sad world. Hey, I need y'all to all keep working and pay that Social Security. I need my mailbox money. so I can live the life that I'm accustomed to now.
Well, keep paying into
Okay?
it.
Keep paying into it. Somebody got to work. I'm just telling you.
Oh.
I am just telling you. How many dogs you got?
Too many right now. I need to get rid of a couple. I've kind of got myself in a predicament where I got too many young dogs that are on the front end of being started, but I don't hardly have time to mess with all them. I think I got, if you count my house dog, which is kind of my duck and dove wire hair, I does a little bit upland hunting with her, and then I got a short hair. I've got 2 half Walker pups that are out of the short hair. I got a half Walker pup, half English Pointer pup.
Lord.
Then I got another tree and cur pup that's just a little bitty puppy, and then I got another one that's half Walker, half cur that's about to get a new address. But I need to get rid of about 3 of them at least.
Well, here's the trap people get into. I have 7 grown finished dogs, and each of them is a jump dog and a real dog. I mean, by themselves, because when I start them, if they're codependent on something, I leave them older dogs at the house. The time to make rabbit dogs, and same thing with squirrel dogs, is March and April. One thing is leaves ain't on the trees for your squirrel dogs, and the scent's still good, and nobody else in the woods but you. And then I have 3 pups this year. I'll keep a pack of about 10 because they come in heat and one gets snake bit. I like to run at least 8 at a time. That's the beautiful thing about rabbit dogs. Squirrel dogs, it's a 1 or 2 thing. So you don't have the time. Well, I can run 10 dogs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And everybody gets that blood, and I let go of a 3-year-old finished dog if the puppy is a year old and better than her. And that's why I limit myself to 12, no more than 12. That's what'll fit in the boat. That's what'll fit in the dog box. And I don't get in that 30 dog trap. Because I've been to some legendary squirrel dog men, and I've seen them with 35 dogs and bad knees, and he's going to tell me how each of them hunt, and it's got 3-inch long toenails. So we ain't calling no names, but I'm just telling you, I done seen that, the blood trap. And I don't breed brood bitches, and I'm like Bluebell ice cream. I eat all I can, and I sell the rest. That's the deal. But it's easy to get in that trap of too many dogs. Everybody seems to do it at one time. The smart ones learn from it. An honest man can't make no money off a dog. And if you can't buy the one when you go to his house that ain't for sale, leave your wallet in the console of your truck.
Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for a well-bred pup is what I'm kind of a sucker for. It's all that's what gets me is I like puppies. I'm not that great with them, but I sure like acquiring them apparently.
Well, I like starting them. That's the joy. What I like about rabbit dogs versus squirrel dogs is it's not just having a rabbit dog. Anybody can have a couple rabbit dogs. It's putting a pack of 8 or 10 together that have the same speed, and you can throw a sleeping bag over and not strung out through the woods. That's the thing then they work together. You'll learn more about running rabbit dogs in a season than you will coon dogs your whole life. Why? Because it's a small circle. You get to see them work together, and it's in the daylight. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing where I'm not knocking coon hunters. They're very knowledgeable. I'm just saying that you'll learn more about how a dog interacts with the scent and everything by being in the daylight, and that rabbit keeps making circles. That coon don't make no circle. He goes to a swamp and you can hear it, and what you hear doesn't mean, there's some dogs that open on the track when the other's already been working it for 75 yards. So they get credit when they probably doesn't deserve it. Well, in the daytime, you can see all that. That's the difference. Tree dogs have gotten real popular, and that internet has ruined everybody. It has. And you younger gentlemen, y'all have got it made, but many of them don't realize it because back in the day, we had goat horns, and we had some kind of tracker that looks like a Venetian blind and was about 4 foot long and told you what parish the dog was in. It didn't tell you where the dog was. and we had nothing to shot with. And now that Garmin is amazing. I love it to death. But, I know where I'm at. I know where the truck is. I know where the dog is. Man, it's the greatest thing. And, there's no compass readings. It's not like the old days. And I don't think the new ones really appreciate. When we deer bro, we take 2 dogs, put them in the truck, tie a 6-foot rope to them. And when we saw the deer cross the road, we'd park the truck, walk up 200 yards. And in Louisiana, it's full of scrub, and deer go running that thick stuff. So them dogs are going to hang themselves up. It might be 50 yards. It might be 100 yards, and you'd go in there and beat them like folks ought to do their kids nowadays. Some of them kids you ought to just whoop when you put on the school bus, because when they get off, they done something to serve that whooping. And you apply pressure in the morning. My kids are great, man. I got some wonderful kids. My kids got all these degrees, and I think my daughter's on her 3rd house. She keeps upgrading. They're good, great kids. They just want me to grow up. I hate to be such a disappointment, but, all our hopes and dreams don't come true. So
right,
it's going to be a while, I think.
It sounds like it.
All right, now when I come up here with Steve Trimble, are you going to show me some squirrels? Show me what a squirrel dog is? I need to know.
I think so. I'm pretty happy with this one I got. Other than her coming in heat, I was pretty excited. She's I've been hunting her with a pretty accomplished dog, and well, we hunted the other morning, and we hunted for about 90 minutes, and my dog showed us 4 squirrels in that 90 minutes, and the other dog, we saw one that first round on the other dog, but no, she's looking pretty nice.
How old is she?
Right about 2.
Yeah, females come out quicker than males too. They're smart. They just, that's all there is to it. I always liked those big bowed up males when it came to tree dogs, because I liked them to, fight that coon and stuff. That's what I enjoyed, was them fighting that coon.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good tree dog. I don't care, what kind it is. I always preferred more of a meat dog. I'll tell you some stories. Listen to this. There was a time I was a little wild back then, so every year I'd probably have me another girl, and she'd be on my tapes, and there was Dixie Dynamite and Backwoods Barbie before Dolly Parton stole it. Okay, this was way before Dolly Parton had her album, and I got this girl, and she's shaking vines. Okay, and she got a little old top on with some cleavage, and Conan would tree anything that climbed, wood, rats, possums, and I'd shoot it and pet him up, and we were just all happy. This rat jumped out of nest, and it landed in this girl's cleavage. And not only did she never shake another vine, I'm not sure she made me any more bacon, greasy, and eggs over easy. It was pretty devastating to her. She was done. I mean, she was done.
Did you get it on video at least?
No, it was summertime. It was summertime. She was just helping me. That's why she had the cleavage. But watch this. One time I was with the Bayou Boys, and that was a little group up there close to Arkansas. We had 2 girls with us, one of them's the wives, and whatever my flavor of the week or month or whatever it was. And when I started Conan, he was like 4.5 months old. Well, I was guiding in South Dakota, so I started him up there. And I had this brilliant idea that, prairie dogs are squirrels. Okay, so, we had no trees and stuff, so I started him on prairie dogs. Well, he wanted to dig in them holes, and, okay. So he's got a coon in the hole. We know it's a coon, and we're all standing around. They didn't put their guns up because we're going to maybe, let him dispatch it. So we got a couple dogs, and all of a sudden this coon's growling. So we knew what it was. We was real close, and all of a sudden this coon come out in Conan's mouth, and they're arguing about who was going to, rest peacefully that morning. But we didn't know there was a second coon, and that coon come out and run up that girl's leg. And let me tell you something, all them Bayou boys ran a different direction. Okay, it's just, and I'm there to document the carnage. So I'm just filming her. She's doing a war dance, and she happened to be my girl. So that evening when we're coming back, she was very upset. It was like an hour and a half ride. I had to listen to that. Nah. You didn't help me. You didn't help. Oh, what about the rest of them? They run in different directions. They had guns. I had a camera, So, hey, vine shakers and biscuit makers. Back then, I liked them heavily makeup and scarcely clad. But, nowadays I'm old and I'm wiser, so I don't do the things that I used to do.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm still able, but I don't know about that either. I will give you some advice. You being young like
I'm
that.
listening.
You older gentlemen need to learn to unplug. Just unplug. Get you a hobby. Get you a squirrel dog. Get you a rabbit dog. When you retire, you don't have the time you think you do. There's always some stuff you got to do that gets in the way of you living out your final years. And the ones I run 5 days a week, all year, and I work a little bit, but I don't work like I could. Because the check pays the bills, and I've been preparing for this. So here's the deal. If you just live every day and do what you enjoy, because you know how much money you got. You never know how much time you got, and it passes so quick. As young as you are, you think you've got plenty of time. Let me tell you something. 24 years ago when 9/11 happened, it seems like yesterday. It just went. And I don't think the average person really enjoys life to the fullest that he could or should, because life will throw you some curveballs or drama, and it's never perfect, but you got to get your priorities right. That's what I believe.
Oh,
of course, you say I don't even got money for a haircut, so. But I got a belly. I'm eating though.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So I was gonna ask, talking about money for haircuts. I was gonna say, your hair naturally curly like that, or you got to go get it permed?
Yep. Nope, I don't get it permed. I used to dog hunt with these sheriffs, and they said I heard them one night out there. You reckon Randy ever gets a haircut? I think he just lets the briars yank it off. Yeah, I was thinking, okay, yeah. No, I just. Man, I'm simple kind of guy. I don't drink. I don't do nothing. I have no vices. I don't chase wild women. Man, I don't have no vices because I have an addiction, and that's hunting. And it don't leave room for nothing else. And you got dogs, and son, even if I got half them decoys free back in the day and everything, it still costs money. And when I was young, I was 9 when I left home, went to live with my sister, who happened to be an exotic dancer. She was 19. And she didn't give me much supervision, but she married an old guy that was a high linesman, one of them real men back in the day. When they climbed them, they didn't have bucket trucks. And he fished and hunted. So every Saturday or Sunday morning, if I was home by 5 o'clock in the morning, I know that sounds kind of crazy at about 13 or 14, but he didn't give me as much supervision either. So we hunted and fished. We white perch fished and squirrel hunted. And that's kind of what, if it wasn't for hunting, I got friends in all walks of life, from federal judges to folks in the penitentiary. I probably wouldn't have been no federal judge. I probably, somebody be putting some money in my books if it wasn't for hunting. That's what kind of kept me grounded. And them dogs depend on me, and that's the only thing that does. So I try to be responsible enough to, feed them up and keep them. Man, it's so expensive to keep dogs now. Those shots are outrageous. And a lot of your medications aren't working now. Are you having problems with your puppies? Like Nemex no longer works. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's right. It no longer works. You got to get that safeguard for benzosol and all that kind of stuff. They're developing a immunity to it. And, we're in Louisiana, and South Louisiana is even worse. I mean, your heartworm medicine won't even work down there now. They're getting immune to it. And people think you have to charge for a puppy. This ain't your grandpa where you gave him away. People will take anything for free. But if you want them to put that sweat equity in them, they have to pay for them because it costs you money to raise them now. And the only reason I raise litter is if I need stock. So, every 2 years I raise a litter at least because I add two. I add 2 dogs, 1 dog 1 year and 2 the next. That way my dogs won't be old at the same time. You squirrel hunters don't have that problem because you only have 1 or 2 dogs. When you got a pack of rabbit dogs, everything's going good. They're 4 years old. They're burning it up. Life is lovely. Buddy, they're going to be 6 in 2 years. And if you don't have any young ones coming along, your pack's going to age all at the same time. So you need to stagger it a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, y'all got a little bit of private land up there, correct? But y'all don't really have trees on most of it, do you?
No,
a lot of it's wetlands.
No, we don't. We don't have just a whole lot of wetlands. We got a lot of timber. We've got a little bit of ag. So we've got quite a few like pecan bottoms, stuff like that. But we don't have any pine timber. Like you can't find a pine tree unless someone planted it in their yard up here. We don't have any timber companies. We've all our woods are hardwoods.
You got life whooped. You don't realize the political pull timber companies have in Louisiana down here. They don't pay taxes. They waived that stuff a long time ago. Like Huey Long got that done for them because it was supposed to be open to the public. Well, look, when you lease it and you put a gate, it ain't open to the public no more. You need to be paying tax like the rest of Louisiana is. That's all I'm saying. But, them politicians all get that money from them. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing in our oil industry is pretty big now. It's just the state's changed because the places we used to couldn't get into, they put that SP2 rock, and made roads and spent millions and millions. So it's not like the old days when you couldn't get in them bottoms, when it rained real bad because they got the SP2 roads and everything's kind of blocked up. It's kind of hard to get lost now. You're going to come across in Onyx. That's another thing you young ones got. Y'all got Onyx.
Oh, it's
Lord,
handy.
Man, where you at? Huh?
Oh, it's handy.
Oh, man, you know where you're at and who owns it.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? We never had stuff like that. I mean, we just didn't. It was a different world back then. But the difference was all our woods in Louisiana was wide open. Like I said, when I was 10, 15 years old, there wasn't no posted land. People didn't care what you did, because there wasn't no deer. I mean, to speak of it all. So, just squirrel and rabbits and quail. And, it was a lot different back then. Everything was wide open. And I think on them kids, I think we're too rough on them. I think the best thing to start a child hunting is a squirrel dog. A good one. Not one of them flick treeing idiots. I'm talking about a meat dog where you go to the tree and you see 50% of his squirrels. Then that kid, you shake a vine, he gets to shoot. And, man, that's a whole different thing. That's how they started us. And, a rabbit dog's a little harder, because he's got to figure out the circle and all that, but it's still exciting. Mm-hmm. And we put them in a deer stand, and half of them, won't shoot a big buck. Let him shoot some nannies. Let him shoot something. Don't make it too rough on them. But they started us by us picking up co-balls and taking them up there and buying BBs and, getting in trouble with the neighbors' martins and stuff. That's how they started us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've kind of lost that a little bit. Of course, kids like to shoot deer, but, they would like the other small game too. And there's no money in, rabbit and squirrel in no small game. The state don't make no money. The state's about that turkeys and deer,
Mm-hmm.
At least it is here. y'all are different. And like Mississippi and stuff, you can hunt deer on certain days and then small game on certain days. Well, here it's not like that. You can't get in there till Christmas. I mean, everybody else has got their on the WMAs,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that say like bow hunters, that's probably the houndsman's worst enemy. Not the anti-hunter, the bow hunter. I know that sounds bad. A lot of people ain't gonna like that, but they're the ones that raise more cane because they don't have an understanding of what a dog does and how he doesn't affect the deer. I run exotic pens with my beagles, 1,650 acres, 500 big game animals. They won't run bison, elk, sika, fowler, nothing. They won't run nothing but a rabbit. And I think if more, still hunters realize that we wouldn't all be, to antis, we're all the enemy. And then now hunters are all broke up against each other. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some dog hunters do it to themselves, And back in the day, I might have stood a row with the mailbox or something. Probably. But, that's when I was younger, didn't know no better.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna make some hunts next year.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna see if we can't trim you down to about 2 squirrel dogs and about 8 or 9 rabbit dogs.
Oh, my little boy'd probably like that, but
how old is he?
He's 7.
Man,
I kind of take that. I'm holding him back. He's been itching to go deer hunting, kill a deer for a year or two now. Just been begging for it, but I'm kind of making him run through the gauntlet of all the small games. I kind of got a list in my head that I'm going to make him kill before I ever let him get a chance to kill a deer. And I just
I like that.
I think that a lot of people get caught up in trying to show their kid a good time and give them what they want, which is to kill a big buck. And so they'll go out and they'll put their kid on a 140, 150 inch buck and get it killed and do that 2 or 3 years in a row. Well, how's that kid gonna, like, what's exciting from there? Like, how do you go up from that at that point?
That's exactly right.
And you're missing so many opportunities on the excitement from just killing a squirrel and the excitement from just killing a dove. I took my little boy out dove hunting opening morning, which we didn't have any birds in the area hardly, and but I found one spot that we jumped up about 10 that were down on this creek. So we went and set up on that creek, and he's got a little 410 he saved up and bought last year, a little bitty tiny Rossi single shot, and we had the decoys all set up, and we had some birds come in. He's not real sure about wing shooting one. Them dove are pretty quick for him, but he Arkansas'd 2 of them, and he got 2 of them killed though. But man, talk about excited and happy, and but if you took him out and shot a great big buck first, I don't know that he'd have been quite as happy about them.
Well, we put our expectations on the children. That's what we do. You know what I mean? And it's boring. I mean, after he plays on his phone and eats Little Debbie's, he's, pretty ready to go. Well, when you got them plenty of action. Have you ever been pigeon hunting?
We've got a few pigeons around, but we don't have any big messes of them.
I've got pigeon decoys. I got some nice ones. I mean, I got, a bunch of them. That's a thrill. That's thrilling. I used to come to Oklahoma. When I did, we'd set up on them grain lots and shoot pigeons and stuff. Hey, be looking for some up there. If you got some, when I come up there, we'll do a little pigeon hunt.
Okay.
That stuff, man, they work like ducks are supposed to. Like you see on the DU prints, how ducks come in. That's how pigeons come in. My buddy, Rod Haydale, he owns Haydale Duck Calls. Well, he had never been rabbit hunting. About 5 years ago, I took him rabbit hunting. Louisiana, we don't got no ducks like we used to. It was too hot. They migrate. And we got out there, he started killing rabbits. And then about halfway, he said, man, this is thrilling. He said, and they don't migrate, do they? I said, no, they'll be here next week. He said, so will we. If I could change just one. But Yeah, and see, nobody here has rabbit dogs or squirrel dogs. Because if you don't know somebody, you ain't hunting them. I'm just telling you. And all them deer leases, the lumber companies don't let you put dogs on them no more. They're even stopped rabbit dogs and squirrel dogs. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And warehousers the worst. They come in and everything's going to stay the same, and then they want to charge you $500 to keep a trailer there, $250 to plant a pipeline that's already a pipeline. They're all about that money. They should pay taxes on that land to the state. That's what they should do. They need to stop that. But Louisiana, we're kind of our problem down here is this: is 80% of the population lives below I-10. So North Louisiana has no voting power. They want our casino money going to Baton Rouge, but it don't trickle back to us. We're like two different states, and they have the power. And so when it comes to a duck season, they get their first choice, and we kind of get a little left behind. So hey, one time, Danny Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Okay, I was with him, and let me see who else. Well, Danny's bigwig, so he had the game commissioner of Louisiana there, and we had the procurers for Ducks Unlimited of 5 southern states, and we was hunting with them old boys, and one of them had his shoes off, and he had a hole in his sock. I said, "Wait a minute, let me tape this. Why? Why?" I said, "They think you boys. The Delta says y'all are all rich." Stuff. I can show them there's chickens in the yard. You got holes in your socks. Y'all will do a lot better. But he got the squirrel season, a spring squirrel season, because we had that guy down there, and he was the game commissioner, and we told him we want a spring season. Well, I think they have to do a survey. I think Dave Moreland was ahead of the commission then, and we said, well, they've already done one in Mississippi, they've done one in Arkansas, and they've done one in Texas, and all of them have spring seasons. There's no place left but the Gulf of Mexico. So that's how we got our spring squirrel seasons, thanks to Carlton Savoy and Danny Wilkerson. And I think me holding some footage back on them DU guys, because I had a blind that was dry and had no brush, and I'm over taping. If you give your money to Delta Waterfowl and you don't give it to DU, that's what your blind's going to look like. So I think I kind of held that footage back. I was scared I would release it. It's kind of like that footage I still got when Apache bit Big D in the crotch that night. I still got that footage. That's how I keep Mark Morrison in check.
Yeah.
He had just got Apache, and it was dark. And Apache ain't never hardly been coon hunting that time, and he never heard a coon squalor. So he's tied to the tree, and Big D, the one that had the squirrel haters, he stood on this coon squalor and stepped on that dog's paw. And when he did, that dog bit him in the crotch. I'm talking about blood, bit him all the way. and then all of a sudden, he ain't on the coon squalor no more, but he was whining like he was still on it. And I looked at him, I said, "What in the world are you doing?" He said, "He bit me in the crotch. He bit me in the crotch." And Mark said, "Don't show nobody that. I don't show nobody that." So I've kept that footage the whole time just to make sure that Democratic lawyer treats me with the proper respect I deserve.
Oh.
Now, what kind of hunt are you putting on?
It's an NSD hunt.
And what is that? I've been out of it 20 years. What
National Sporting Dog.
And what kind?
It's a full elimination squirrel hunt.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. It's like a state format.
Yep.
And can you win with circle points?
Well,
can you win your Cassis? Oh, man. Well, y'all got fur, though, so you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, because if y'all got fur. Some places in the country back in the day, I don't know. I can't say about now, but some places had that circle because, they didn't have no fur.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted the dog to advance. And have you done pretty good in it?
I just got this dog I'm hunting right now. Back in probably December, might have been either November. I think it was December. Was when I got her, and I she wasn't treeing when I got her, and I got her rolling, and I've hunted her in one hunt so far, and she won her first round, and she just treated her first squirrel about 30 days, or like I think it was 2 weeks before I took her to that. But she looked great in the first round, treated like 4 or 5 squirrels, and then she kind of fell apart in the second cast. But she was still a puppy, so.
All they can do is be the best dog at the best spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's at that spot. All spots aren't created equal, so it doesn't. You know what I mean? But on elimination hunt, only your evening cast matters. Your best spots.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we used to do. That's why I would make guide plaques, and all my buddies would show up and draw 3 dogs. Nobody got to go to their spot. That's the fairway. And that evening, we'd go to the base, and the base can't be hunted. So they had unbelievable. You was going to win the hunt. You was going to take 1,000+ points to win the hunt. And everybody would just say, I'm guide 1. We'd draw at the clubhouse. When they got to the base, they furnished the guides. And it was fair.
Mm-hmm.
It was very fair because there was no feeders. And look, I seen everything you can see over a piece of pressboard and brass. And I'd be if I'd ever throw any money down there, because that's when you see people's true character. And just because a dog, y'all don't have it like the rabbit dog guys. There's so many different formats in that. There's like 15. Some dogs are slow, and they'll cut the dog if he goes around them, and the dog running in front gets no credit, only when they lose it and refind it. So I always thought the best judge of a rabbit dog is the front beat of that shotgun, but that's I'm kind of a little rougher than some. And them old men that used to be in foxhounds and love that, they go to slow beagles because they're older. It's a smaller circle and more voice and all that, but at least they're still loving the sound of the race. So that's a pretty good thing. I tell you, one time we was up in Arkansas, and there was a 3-dog cast, and they had a fox hunt, and our dogs left, and my Conan too, he was right there with them. And when we seen them guys, they said, y'all got a brindle mountain cur and some kind of yellow looking dog with a bobtail? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, they're up in the middle of the pack trying to get to the front. So we got to get our dogs. Yeah, I don't tell many people that. He didn't know what was going on, but there was 40-something hounds running something, and he thought he didn't run no deer or hogs, but he thought he might need to be up in that. So there ain't no perfect dog or perfect woman. Hey, a sorry one eats the same amount as a good one, so we should only feed the best we possibly can. And if you see me with a woman or a dog more than 3 times and you cannot purchase it, come steal it in the middle of the night because it's worth feeding. I'm just saying. I ain't feeding nothing. If it's going to eat around my house, it's going to have a purpose. So, how long you been married?
Oh, well, we kind of took late to getting married. I think we've been married for 4 years, 5 years.
I got you.
But we've been together for about 10 now.
Well, could she tell me how many dogs you have out there?
I don't think she likes to keep count.
Good, a keeper.
Yeah,
she is a keeper.
Yeah.
She
just kind of rolls her eyes when I tell her I got another puppy ordered or something. She don't give me much flack. She's pretty good.
I'll give you some advice. One of my buddies, he's a world champion bull rider and stuff, Cole Eccles and team roper and all that stuff. And now he's a farrier, and his wife's a horse vet because he had to get a real job because they got married. He had a kid. Well, he had a kid like a year and a half ago or something, maybe 2. And I told him one kid's fine. She can fry bacon while it's on her hip. Now she's supposed to have another kid. So guess what? She got a kid on each hip. He got to stay home and fry the bacon. So that's going to get in this hunting. Follow me for more relationship advice. I'll get you permission or divorce, one or the other. Ain't no in between. That's what, I've spent years studying them. And I was married 4 months, 31 years ago. I was a little confused back then. She started beating my girlfriends up, so we split up. And about 5 years ago, she hit me on Facebook. She looked on there and she said, "That's why we're not together. You have multiple girlfriends." I said, "No, it's your violence. If you had not put your hands on them, we'd still be married." Well, she deleted me on Facebook. I didn't last but about 5 minutes there. But now I'm grown out of them. I'm so old that I just, I see lips and twisting hips. I don't even see that. I see grandbabies and drama. That's what they, getting old and aging gracefully is an art. And it's kind of hard to master. I'm just telling you. But when there's one set of hopes and dreams, it's a lot easier to fulfill them.
Yeah.
So, I bet she don't count your dog. She's a kid. I got a buddy. We call him Five Dog because he was a hog hunter. And when they were gonna get married, she said, "I told him he can't have but 5 dogs." She was pretty, but she must not can count because he got about 30, and he's I can't see where he's whittled none down. We call him Five Dog. He don't like that. He don't like that a bit. Yeah.
Yep. I think I had 14 when I started dating my wife. I think I had 7 in a litter of 7 pups when we met. So I've actually thinned down a little bit. So she might just be proud of me.
Well, my buddy, he's got, kids and a wife, and they make a lot of decisions in his kennel. Each of them pick one out of each litter, and he wonders why he got 30 dogs. "I can't sell that. That's my grandbaby. It's 2 years old. It ain't running yet. Sell it or knock it in the head." Well, you're supposed to knock them in the head, but I'm just saying, give it to somebody that will give it a good home, But, they all pick dogs, but they don't want to do no training. That's what I try to tell them. I don't get too attached to them. There's some that's going to die here, but, and when I do move one, it'll be a trash broke 3-year-old female. And the only reason she's leaving is her puppy is better, and I think I'm breeding better than I started with. That's how you improve a pack. You can't get attached to them. As long as they get a good home. And look, there's people begging for 3-year-old Patches are the oldest strain of beagle in the United States since 1896, and they're line bred, not inbred. They're line bred, and that's all I've got. It's Patch, and that's all I run. Used to, I'd keep a Ware Creek in there, a Branco, so a Larson Harehound or something just to give me a little more line control. And then I kind of studied those patch breeds, and I found some lines of the Patches that were a little true to the line, gave a little more voice, had a little more nose. So I'm getting about where I want to be. The thing about it, when I get where I want to be, I'll be too old to hunt them almost. I need a 15-year-old that wants to go with me. That's what I did when I was a kid. You would take the old man around, when he couldn't hardly see or when he liked to get in the alcohol a little bit, and you drive for him, and you shovel out his kennels and learn from him. But them kids nowadays, they don't really want to do this. They don't understand that those girls will keep till the street light comes on. Mm-hmm. You play with the girls at dark, and you can run your dogs during the day, but they ain't really figured that out. And it's them phones and that social media, and there ain't no answer to it because we know it's addicting. Because I stay on Facebook all the time, so yeah, it's a changing world we live in. But hunting and camouflage brings everybody together. Race, religion, it don't matter. I never, when you got camouflage and hunting dogs, it's a different bond there. And if you keep your kids in that, after his first divorce and he's shattered, he'll have something to go back to. That's all I'm saying.
Randy, what's your favorite type of line breeding crosses? What's worked good for you?
All right. Well, here's what I just did. First thing I did was I bred Viking to a female and kept a male. Then I bred him to another patch that was out of a different line, and I kept a female, and I bred those two together. And then I outcrossed to the JLT line, and then I put Viking back on the puppies. And then I just bred Viking to a JLT and got everything I wanted, and now I bred him to his daughter. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Here's the problem. With y'all making crosses like that, you got too much problems. But patches are an old line, and out of 120-something dogs, there might only been 50 dogs in that pedigree because he spent 60-something years. He was the first breeder in the Hall of Fame in 59. He lived by himself, and he bred those dogs, and he culled those dogs back when, folks culled in a little different way than they do nowadays. They didn't sell their dogs, didn't make their cut on the internet. They disappeared. So that's what he did, and that's how I'm able to study those old lines and cross. And I test my stock. You got to understand, most people nowadays, they can hunt on a Saturday or Sunday, and there's 8 weeks of rabbit season in Louisiana. That's all they got at the most, really 6 weeks after deer season. And I run one day year for last 19 out of 21 days. And I'm talking about, till 2:00 hunts and someday all day. And I test my stock, and I run 5 days a week on the average all year. So I test my stock, and I know the holes in them, and I'm not kennel blind. So when I know the holes, then you can figure out what you can plug them with. And my trick is this: I put the dogs and the puppies in the best hands. Patchmen are a cult. They're like no other beagles. I mean, they're a cult. You don't crossbreed them. We don't crossbreed them. And we don't sell to people that do, some of the most serious ones here. Would putting some patch in some other lines help the endurance on them and the hunt? Yeah, that's why people do it. But it's short term. And, so I put them in the best hound men that are older and retired that run all the time. That's all they do. You can't beat a man. Look, a lot of black guys got some of the best rabbit dogs. And here's why. A lot of black guys don't duck hunt. They don't turkey hunt. Some of them don't even deer hunt. They do one thing. If they're a squirrel dog man, they're a squirrel dog man. And if they're a rabbit dog man, they're a rabbit dog man. It's hard to compete with a man that only has one vice, because then he's got more time to spend on that vice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you can't do what we do. If you want to learn about breeding, go to those, what used to be the cockfighters. It's illegal now, so there probably aren't none left. But if you can find some that used to cockfight and test their game and breed 500 a year, that's who can tell you a lot about breeding. He might only have one strap on his overalls and be missing a few teeth, but he's a pretty smart man if he stayed in it for years. And he didn't know about science or genes, but he understood how to take a blue mug and put on a Kelso and then throw a hatch down and get it killed. You can't beat them hatch. The last aggression, I seen dead hatches win back when it was legal. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a few guys up around me that breed some game birds.
Yeah, there's a few out here that do. It's a changing world nowadays, buddy. I'm just saying, it's a changing world. I will say something about it. Here's the deal. When I went up there bear hunting in North Carolina, here's what I discovered. Now, they have a heritage of running dogs like we did with deer and bear dogs. And the reason they're changing is not their mentality. The reason they're changing is when the folks out of Washington, D.C., and Maryland and Virginia retire, they go to the coast of, North Carolina and South Carolina, and they bring their voting mentality with them. You want to come to the country, but you want to bring your city ways with you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they're voting, they're killing their dog hunting heritage. People from outside that have never been embraced by it. And I think that's kind of sad. We're not but about 2 generations off of being at jeopardy of losing this. You're culture shocked. I'm culture shocked because of where we live. You know what I mean? Here, if you're 2 years old and he ain't got a duck call in his mouth, you wonder if the kid's going to be gay. You know what I mean? Because we're just a different mentality down here. But when you go other places, you don't have to go but 2 or 3 states. And then you're the oddball in the. And I think the more we start children in it, the earlier we start them, and the more exciting it is. They're going to vote if you're going to keep your hunting rights someday, buddy. Okay? When they get 30 years old, they're going to vote if your 70-year-old self's going to keep your hunting rights. And if you don't start them in it and they have appreciation and understanding of it, then they're not going to vote the proper way, which, you know, I mean, we're all different. You know, I try not to get in politics or religion too much, but I'm just saying when it affects my lifestyle, then, you know, just like them not wanting to work, they better work because I need my Social Security. I'm telling you. I can do without a haircut, but my dog's got to have that food now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well, Randy, we've been going at this for a little over an hour now. Man, I have sure enjoyed the conversation.
Man, we're going to have us a blast. I'm coming up here and rape your woods. I'm just telling you right now. So find me some pigeons, save me some squirrels, but you get out there and find me some rabbits. Because I was going to come. Steve comes here every year, but last year we're supposed to go up there. Well, I ain't got no rabbits. I'm not trying to listen to that. So I need you to find me some rabbits.
You get up here. I know where there's some at. I guarantee it.
All right, you going to come down there and hunt with me and Cody and Zach?
Yeah, I need to figure out what time. Did you guys put a date on when you're going to do that yet?
Ask Zach. He's running that.
Okay.
I have gun and we'll travel. Okay?
All right.
So, all right, buddy. It was very nice meeting you. Hey, tag me on Facebook on that so I'll know when it is and all that stuff.
All right, I will, buddy.
And I got 2 of them. I got that Facebook and I got my Fur and Fangs Facebook too.
Okay, I don't know if I've got your Fur and Fangs. I'll look it up.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Take care and keep wearing out that boot leather.
I just want to give everyone that's listening a sincere thank you. Getting this podcast going has been a project. I really hope you're enjoying it, and if you don't mind, give the show a good rating and review wherever you're listening to it at, or share it on your social media to help get some traction. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.